This was one of the most controversial fights in boxing history. Tyson turned professional nearly 12 years before his opponent was born. And despite losing a unanimous decision, he said,
"If there was ever a fight that perfectly encapsulated the bizarre and unpredictable nature of modern boxing, it was the clash between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul on Friday night. This bout seems to have done more harm than good.
Want me to lose. That's the only way they would have thought it was entertaining.
I think there's a world where some people definitely wanted you to knock out Tyson.
Right.
Mike Tyson's son stepping in to defend his father amid a wave of legal controversy, Tyson Fury voicing his disappointment over the fight, and even MVP being drawn into the drama. This is the controversial aftermath of what was marketed as the biggest fight of the decade, but ultimately turned out to be one of the most lackluster.
The fight. It wasn't a good one. It wasn't a good one.
On January 17th, 1997, a baby boy named Jake Paul was born in Ohio, a little blonde-haired bundle of joy that brought happiness to his family. On the very same day, the boxing world was buzzing with uncertainty, wondering if Mike Tyson, once hailed as the most dangerous man on the planet, had just been defeated by Evander Holyfield. 2 months earlier, Tyson was already past his prime, yet many still believed he had more to give. Who could have predicted that 27 years later, Tyson and young Jake would find themselves face to face in the ring?
About Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, did you watch the fight?
No, man. It's feel bad, you know. My legend, my is down, but don't know. It's the lows, but about man, it's old, you know. It's 58.
The fight was not just surprising; it was downright bizarre. Jake Paul stood across from Mike Tyson, a man once feared for his devastating power in the ring. Now 58 years old, Tyson faced off against a fighter 31 years his junior, someone who had grown up watching him dominate on highlight reels. The build-up promised an intense showdown, but the real drama unfolded in the aftermath, as lawsuits surfaced alleging the fight was rigged. Even Tyson Fury, named after the boxing legend, has called it a shameful chapter in the sport's history. Now, both Tyson and Jake Paul may be forced to forfeit the rewards from the fight, as accusations of a scripted event gain traction. This controversy is something Tyson may find difficult to shake off, especially since he took on the fight to support his family. All his efforts could now be in vain. The chaos ignited when Jake Paul dropped a bombshell revelation after the bout, sparking a scandal that transformed what was supposed to be a historic match into a circus of legal battles and accusations.
Up one time for Jake Paul.
Hey, thank you. I'm sorry I didn't knock him out though, guys.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm really sorry.
The fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul wasn't just surprising, it was downright bizarre. On one side was Jake Paul, a YouTube star turned boxer, standing across from Mike Tyson, once the most feared man in the sport. Now 58 years old, Tyson faced a man 31 years younger, someone who had grown up idolizing him. What was supposed to be a thrilling clash quickly devolved into something far stranger, with controversy overshadowing the event and sparking heated debates. The build-up promised a high-octane showdown, but the real drama erupted afterward. Jake Paul, in interviews following the fight, admitted he had held back in the later rounds, stating that he didn't want to hurt Tyson and just wanted to give the fans a show. While some might have seen this as a noble gesture, it sparked outrage among others. Legal experts and critics were quick to point out that such comments could have serious legal implications if Paul intentionally pulled his punches. The notion of a staged fight became a real possibility, especially in light of the millions of dollars riding on the outcome. Tyson, for his part, didn't publicly address the controversy, leaving many wondering whether the fight had been more about entertainment than athletic competition. Tyson had walked away from professional boxing nearly 2 decades ago, famously stating after his loss to Kevin McBride in 2005, "I am not going to disrespect the sport anymore by losing to this caliber of fighter." Yet here he was, 2 decades later, fighting a man who wasn't even born when Tyson was at his peak. The event, which generated millions in revenue, faced immediate backlash. Tyson Fury, the reigning heavyweight champion named after the boxing legend, expressed his disappointment, calling the fight sad and questioning why Tyson took part in it. "I get it, it's about making money, but this is just a shame," Fury remarked. His words echoed the sentiments of many in the boxing world who saw the event as a mockery of the sport. Tyson's son, Amur, also chimed in, defending his father in a social media post after the fight. Sitting ringside and even involved in the broadcast, Amir blasted critics who questioned the legitimacy of the bout, calling them clowns and telling them to change your ways rather than gossiping about other people's business. Despite his defense, Amur's words did little to silence the growing chorus of critics, with social media flooded with accusations that the fight was fixed. The promotion company behind the event, Most Valuable Promotions, quickly responded with a statement defending the fight's legitimacy. They insisted the bout was sanctioned by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation, and that rigging a fight was a federal crime. The claims that this fight was rigged are illogical and frankly insulting, the statement read, trying to quell the mounting suspicion. Despite these protests, the financial success of the event was undeniable. Jake Paul reportedly walked away with $40 million, while Tyson earned a cool $20 million, an astounding sum for a man who hadn't stepped into the ring professionally in 19 years. But this hefty payday only fueled more questions. Was this fight really about competition, or was it just a spectacle designed to rake in money? Jake Paul has long been accused of cherry-picking opponents who are past their prime or simply out of their depth. Most of his past bouts have been against former UFC fighters or athletes well beyond their peak. Tyson, as a once iconic figure, was another carefully chosen opponent, an aging legend who could generate buzz but posed little risk to Paul's undefeated record. The lack of any real competitive fire in the fight made it feel more like a calculated business move than a legitimate contest. Leading up to the fight, fans were vocal on social media, urging Tyson to give a real performance, not just go along with some pre-planned script. After the fight, Tommy Fury, who defeated Jake Paul earlier that year, offered a blunt assessment of the bout: bank robbery. His words, simple yet scathing, summed up the general consensus. The event had everyone talking, not for its athleticism, but for the spectacle and the money involved. Tommy Fury, who knows a thing or two about Jake Paul's boxing journey after defeating him earlier, dismissed the idea that the fight held any real value. "I didn't expect anything else other than what we saw," Fury said, underlining that the fight was more about spectacle than any sporting merit. "You can't talk about it as a boxing match because it wasn't one," he added. The Tyson-Paul fight wasn't about punches or tactics. It was about generating revenue. From a commercial standpoint, Fury admitted the fight was a success. In a business sense, it was absolutely amazing, he conceded, recognizing that the event had managed to capture global attention and generate huge profits. But that doesn't change the fact that the aftermath left a bitter taste, raising uncomfortable questions about the future of boxing